1-1 Variables and Expressions. Our objective today is to simplify expressions using the correct order of operations. You have to have the order of operations down. It's probably one of the most important things that we cover this year. Without it, you're stuck making silly mistakes. So let's take a look at our first problem. We want to simplify 10 plus 2 times the quantity 6 minus the quantity 3 minus 1 squared. So we want to use parentheses, exponents, multiply slash divide, add slash subtract. Another way of remembering it is PEMDAS, P-E-M-D-A-S, and please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, it's probably the most well-known way of remembering that. One thing we want to be clear on is that multiplying and dividing are equal. You do whichever one comes first in the problem. Same for adding and subtracting. They're equal. You do whichever one comes first in the problem. So let's take a look at this problem. We'll go back to it. And so the first thing we're looking for is parentheses. Well, there's two sets of parentheses. You have the brackets and then the regular parentheses. Brackets are just a cousin or a brother of parentheses. So inside the brackets there's another set of parentheses, so we'll do those first. So 3 minus 1, that's 2. And then we start all over again. We look for parentheses. We have them inside the parentheses. We start all over. Are there other parentheses? There is parentheses around the 2, but there's nothing to do. So then we go to exponents. There is an exponent with that 2. It's 2 squared. So 2 squared, it means 2 times 2, which is 4. Go back, look for parentheses. We still have parentheses. So 6 minus 4 is 2. We have parentheses, but there's nothing to do, so then we look for exponents. They're not there. We then look for any multiplying or dividing. There's some multiplying. When you have a number next to a bracket or a parenthesis, that means multiplication. So we're doing 2 times 2, which is 4. So we have 10 plus 4, which is 14. And that's our answer. Remember, PEMDAS or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Those are the things we have to get down this year in order to be successful. So would you take a moment and would you try these two problems, see if you can do them? Refer back to PEMDAS. Try to follow those steps. Those are the guidelines, the instructions on what to do. Okay, number 1. I'm looking for parentheses. I don't see any. I look for exponents. Nope. I'm looking for multiplying or dividing. There's 2 types of multiplying. So I do the one which comes first. In this case, it's the multiplying. 2 times 6, which is 12. And then I'll do 2 times 4, which is 8. And 12 plus 8 is 20. Next, I'm going to do parentheses for number 2. And I have 6 times 4 is 24. And then 25 minus 24 is 1. And that's my answer. Would you try problems 3 and 4? Pause the video, come back and see if you can do them on your own, following please excuse my dear Aunt Sally or PEMDAS. So for number 3, we have 18 divided by the quantity 5 minus 2. Well, there's parentheses, so we take care of that first. That gives us 3. 5 minus 2 is 3. Then all we have is division, so we get 6. Number 4, we have 2 times the quantity 4 times the quantity 9 minus 7. That added to 1. So please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I'm going to take care of that 9 minus 7 first. I still have brackets, so I'm going to do, and inside the brackets there's multiplying and adding. So I'll multiply first, then I'll add, and then 2 times 9 is 18. If you have questions, you should be writing them down so you can ask me in the next class. Alright, here we want to put some parentheses in the expressions to make them a true statement. So just at its face, we have 5 times 10 minus 6 divided by 2 equals 47. So we want to put some parentheses around here to try to make it work. If I put them around the 5 and the 10, that would be 50. and then I could put it around here. You don't really have to. Order of operations would pretty much take care of this, but that's where you would put parentheses if they want them. Now for this one, we want 22. So notice it's the exact same numbers. How do we do, what could we do here? Well, if we put parentheses here and then brackets here, that would give us 50 minus 6, which is 44, divided by 2 would work. Okay. Now we want to do order of operations and then tell me if the two sides are less than, greater than, or equal to. So would you try the left side and the right side, then come back and solve it. Okay, so for the left side we're going to do 24 minus 8, which would be 16, divided by 4 is 4. And the right side we have to do 8 divided by 4, following order of operations. That gives me 2. And so we end up with 22. So notice the two sides have the exact same numbers, but because of the parentheses it causes us to do things differently. And 4 is less than 22. Would you try number 8, please? Do both sides. Alright, order of operations, I've got 21, and then I have 8. I'm doing parentheses first. I did the first parenthesis, then the next. Then 21 minus 8 is 13. Without any parentheses, I get 21. I get 8 again. So notice that we didn't have parentheses here, but because we were doing something that would have been done first anyways, it doesn't change our value. We get equal to. And that's it for the lesson. If you have questions, make sure you bring them to class. And the assignment will be at the end to do if you're in the regular class.